Hello, Putala. Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Good
okay.
evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Puta. So, good evening, Anna. How about the raining situation? Raining situation, Puta. The weather condition to your all areas? Is it raining? Yeah? May I have a response from your side?
No, sir.
That bad, sir.
Not bad. Okay, okay, Puta. All right, okay. All right. So, let's start our session. La 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 la. So there's no rain here. Okay. I think, Buddha, today we want to start lesson number 5, right? Am I correct? Do we want to start
Yes,
lesson
sir.
number 5 today? We completed lesson number
Yes,
4
sir.
last day. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Buddha. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Is my voice clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Buddha. Okay. So if I'm lagging, please let me know, right? Okay. So, lesson number 4, Buddha, we completely discussed about constitutional reforms. So you could remember that we discussed about Colebrook reform, Crewe-McCallum reform, Manning Devonshire, and Donamo, right? So I think you could remember all those reforms. So when discussing about Colebrook reform, anyone could remember how many members in the Colebrook legislature, Puta?
50.
15 members, exactly correct. And how many members were there under Crewe-McCallum, Puta?
21.
Yeah, it's 21 members. And anyone could remember one special point under Crewe-McCallum Constitution? There's a one special point happened in the Crewe-McCallum Constitution. Anyone could remember? One is we call limited grant. Yeah, granting limited franchise, and first educated minister was given under Crewe-McCallum Constitution. Discussing about Manning Devonshire. Yes? Sorry, discussing about Manning Puta. How many members under Manning Constitution? There were
37.
37. Manning Devonshire, 49. And how about you call Donamo? What was the name given for the legislature under Donamo Constitution?
State Council.
State Council, exactly correct. It's called State Council, and there were 61 members under State Council, Puta. Right? So we completed up to this place, and right now we will be moving to start about social changes in Sri Lanka under British. La 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 na 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 na. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. La 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 la. Social changes under British. social changes under British. කවදාවත් නුඹනාවත් la 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 la. Social changes put under British, right? Sir, can you send me the recording? Okay, Putta, sure. I will once again upload to the group, right? So social changes under British Putta we have to discuss under three main subtopics. අපිට පුතා subtopics තුනක් යටතේ තමයි social changes discuss කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. මොනවාද subtopics තුන කියලා බලමු. Right? Number 1, it's called economic changes. Economic changes. Number 1 පුතා economic changes. Number 2, it is social changes. කඳුළු නැදෙනුනේ. Third one, cultural changes. Social changes under British discuss under three subtopics: economic, social, and cultural. Hello, Patal. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. How is it now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So social changes under British Putta can be taken under three main parts: economic, social, and cultural. Right? Economic, social, and cultural. Economic, social, and cultural. Economic, social, and cultural. Now we will be discussing Putta each part, right? Abhi then मैं एक discuss करना यानी. So first we'll discuss about economic changes. Now very first we will be discussing Putta economic condition before arrival of British Putta, right? Before arrival of British. Before arrival of British, we are going to discuss about economic condition. Then we will discuss before arrival of British, how the Sri Lankan economy was organized. Kumu Lanka economic organized right? Number 1, first point we can say in Sri Lanka before arrival of British it prevailed. We all know that it prevailed self-sufficient economic system. it prevailed Magbuta self-sufficient economic system, right? Before the arrival of British Magaratrang in Sri Lanka, it prevailed self-sufficient economic system, right? Self-sufficient economic system. Keep remember, self-sufficient economic system existed before arrival of the British. So what does mean by Buddha self-sufficient economic system? The word self-sufficient economic system refers that Buddha people of the village produce produce their food in the village itself. Buddha, in the village itself. People of the village produce their food in the village itself. In the village itself. People of the village produce their food in the village itself. So, with the people in the village, if the people in the village produce goods, food in the village itself, we call it's a self-sufficient economic system. If we are not importing things from other countries, if we are not getting food from other countries, right? So no need to worry, we can survive in the village. So if we can survive in the village without depending from any other external country or resource, it's called self-sufficient economic system, Magaratra. So how the labor, how labor was taken to the country. Gamata buta kohomada labor ko hoya gatte. The labor was found in two ways, Magaratharang. Number one, we call my buta compulsory service system. Compulsory, exam question, compulsory service system. So you are given a wonderful, extreme knowledge. Please capture this great knowledge, my Buddha. The second one we call duty of occupancy. Right? Duty of occupancy. How they got the labor out to the village. Gama self-sufficient to make the village self-sufficient, Buddha. How people got the labor for the village within. So the people got the labor for the village in two ways. First one we call compulsory service system, other one we call duty of occupancy, Buddha. Compulsory service system can anivarya rajakari krame Buddha. Every grown male had to work for the government free of charge for certain days. Right, Buddha? Compulsory service system can every grown male had to work for the government. Every grown male had to work for the government free of charge. Every grown male had to work for the government free of charge, Buddha. Certain days per year. Right? Auruddakata certain days per year. Auruddakata Buddha podi dina gananavak. They had to work, Buddha. Right? So the sources mentioned that it's only 6 days, Buddha. Whether Papa Aris stay hadnava pau jim pap pavamag harinava. Gami hamutim puvenava pau jim pap pavamag harinava. La 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 la. So can you give a quick run again? Yeah, definitely, Buddha. Right, sir? Can you send the mind map to the group? Yeah, sure. At the end, Buddha, after completing the mind map, I will send my Buddha, right? The economic condition before arrival of British, right? Social changes under British Buddha can be discussed under three main subparts: economy, social, and cultural changes, Buddha. we're discussing about the economic reforms, my puta. It prevailed self-sufficient economic system before arrival of British, which means people of the village produced their food in the village itself. How they got the labor, puta. Gamata avashya labor කොහොමද ගත්තේ? How they got the labor to the village. එකක් තමයි compulsory service system. අනිවාර්ය රාජකාරී ක්‍රමය. According to compulsory service system, puta, every grown male had to work for the government free of charge, certain days per year. That is we call compulsory service system. හැබැයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ first time තමයි අහන්නේ මේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම duty of occupancy. Duty of occupancy also known as puta service patrimony land. මේක ලොවෙත් අහලා නෑ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මන් දන්නවා, right? Even though you may have done these lessons completed in the relevant schools, so this is a hidden part, so you might come across this one puta for the first time, right? So service patrimony lands. Duty of occupancy also known as service patrimony land, puta. What does mean by service patrimony land? Service patrimony land කියන්නේ රත්තරන් මතක තියාගන්නවා. Lands were offered to royal officers or else aristocrats. So puta, royal officers, they grant those lands to common people. So with the common people, they had to work and give harvest as a tax. This is we call the service patrimony land or else duty of occupancy. Duty of occupancy. I para explain about the complex puta. Right? Ariste illala jarmare jim pampage nutun hari bar pare. Ganulama inte karadere arachude kukutai adere. Pa 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 pa. So who forced the men to work free? Okay. So yeah, let's have an explanation again. Sure, puta. I will explain further, right? Api make it explain කරලි වෙලා ආය අපි recap එකක් දාමු මගේ අතරන්, don't worry, right? Until everyone is possible to explain this, so I'm explaining, right? Now here, puta.
Sir?
Yeah. Come on.
Does service patrimony lands come under duty of occupancy?
Exactly correct, puta. Another name for duty of occupancy known as what? Service patrimony land. Are you clear, puta? Another name.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another name for duty of occupancy known as service patrimony land. These are laws, puta. No one can break these laws. Everyone need to wear a helmet when we are on the road. It's a law, right? As the same, puta, the people who born at that time, everyone need to obey to these rules. First one, to get the labor for the village, to make the village self-sufficient. So they impose a law called compulsory service system. The king imposed. According to the compulsory service system, every grown male had to work for the government free of charge, certain days per year. Out the podi dawas gannawa. Evagema duty of occupancy කියන්නේ පුතා, all the lands, some of the lands given to royal officers by the king. So then those royal officers, puta, they offer those land to common people. They ask common people, you all can come to my land and you can cultivate. But from the harvest, you have to give me half. A harvest is bargain mata denna oni. Right? So then the royal officers will again give not the half actually, 3/4, right? 3/4 of the harvest definitely must be given to the royal officer. Then what will the royal officer do, Puta? Royal officer does. He will he from that 3/4, Puta, a quarter or a half he will give to the palace, to the king. This is how the country was run at that time. So we'll continue further. Then we will be understanding again, Puta. After completing all, we'll have again a recap, right? So this is Puta before arrival of British, right? Britannio Lankaවට එන්න කලින්මයි Puta, right? In the ancient time, Puta, there is no working class. Working class for wages. පඩිවලට වැඩ කරන wages එකේ Puta, what's a wage? Salary, right? පඩියට වැඩ කරන ජනතාවක් මගේ රටවල ඒ කාලේ හිටියේ නැහැ. No working class for wages, Puta. පඩියට කවුරුත් වැඩ කරේ නැහැ පුතා. ඔව්. රය නින්ද නෑනේ ඔබ ගැන හිතන්නේ සිත ඈතයයි පාවෙලා. No working class for wages. එහෙනම් මොකද්ද තිබ්බේ කාලේ? If people are not working for salary, how people work? The people worked according to the concept of Atham method. Anyone is there to explain what is called Atham method, please?
Exchange of goods.
Exchanging of goods or labor, Puta?
Sir, it's called exchange of labor, sir.
Yeah,
For example, one farmer helps another farmer, and that other farmer helps the farmer who helped him.
शाह शाबाश बेटा शाबाश. तुम्हारा नाम क्या है? Perfect. Right, Neera beta. Excellent, right? So Atham method means my beta exchanging of labor. Exchanging. So they are exchanging, right? They are exchanging labor, beta, not getting money. Let's go for one example. This is one paddy field, and this is another paddy field. සිත ඈතයයි පාවෙලා. Right, Puta? So then, imagine, so he is working 1 hour in this paddy field. As the same, this owner man will go and work in his paddy field for hour. This is we call exchanging of labor. නිරදිගේ ගොවියෝ එනවා බෙදන ඇඹුල් රස කර කනවා ඔමරිහිනා හඬ පැතිරෙනවා මුළු ගමටම ඇඹුල බෙදනවා ඉකිරිමැණික ඇඹුල් ගෙනල්ලා ටැං 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 ගොවිරාල් ගොඩට ඇවිල්ලා. Right, so there was no working class for wages, so people use Atham method. Actually, this is we call Puta the economic system prevail in the country before the arrival of country. Then there is a question: who started mining industries for the first time, and people started working for a payment? Who started that? MCQ, Puta. Yeah?
Dutch.
Mining industries. You are correct, Puta. Very good, huh? Mining industries plus daily payment was for the first time started by the Dutch. La 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 na 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 la 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 la. All right, Puta. So, are you clear up to this place? I'm going to have this once again, one more time recapitulation. May I take your 2 minutes again?
Okay, sir.
All right. Just give me 2 minutes to explain this once again, and then we'll go for asking questions. I think it's better to have one more time revision. Social changes under British Puta. Take a deep breath, everyone. Come on. 3, 2, 1. All right. Come to the level. Come together. Social changes under British Puta divided into 3 parts: economic changes, social changes, cultural changes. Imagine for your O-level exam, the paper asked, briefly explain about the social changes under British, reference to 3 examples. Reference to 3 examples, you have one example from economy, one example from society, one example from culture. Unknown. Now, in economy, still we are economic condition existed before arrival of British. Britannia Lanka Lanka situation. So in Sri Lanka, it existed my self-sufficient economic system, right? Under self-sufficient economic system, my what happened? So self-sufficient economic system means people of the village produce their food in the village itself. Self-sufficient economic system, right? So labor was found for the village by 2 methods. One is called Puta, compulsory service system. The second one we call my Puta, duty of occupancy. Right? So compulsory service system every grown male had to work for the government free of charge certain days per year. Duty of occupancy service patrimony land. Lands were offered to the royal officers first, and those lands, royal officers given to the common people. Common people cultivate in those lands, take the harvest, and give the harvest to the royal officers. So then royal officers give it to the king. There were no working class who work for a salary or a wages. They existed with the Atham method, but for the first time in the country, it started payment method daily by the Dutch. Are you okay up to this place, Putala?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what's the question that can come to the exam? The question, Puta, the question can be asked, briefly explain social changes under British, reference to 3 examples. Okay, I'm going to ask some question, Buddha. Right. Before arrival of British, what was the economic system existed in the country?
Self-sufficient economic system.
Self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient.
What is known as self-sufficient economic system?
People of the village produce their own food.
Produce their own food in the village itself.
Very good. Perfect. And then, next one. How the village received labor, Buddha? There are 2 methods. What were they?
Duty of
Compulsory
occupancy.
service system and
Compulsory service system.
Duty of
Very good.
occupancy.
Duty of occupancy and compulsory service system. Is there anyone to explain what is known as duty of occupancy?
Lands were offered to royal officers. They grant those lands to common people, had to work and give harvest as a tax.
Wow, wow. Appreciate, Puta. Niyamai, right? You have taken the point perfectly. All right. For the first time in the country, it started money industries and payment method daily by
Dutch.
Dutch. Correct, Pudal, right? So I hope that you all clear the points, right? Okay. Yeah. Now I'm going to explain the condition, the economic condition existed after arrival of British Pudal. ඊට පස්සේ අපි note එකට යමු. Economic reforms in Colebrook Commission. So economic changes happened under Colebrook Commission, Buddha. The first change which happened under British Buddha, which happened under...
Excuse-
Yeah, Buddha, come on, ask.
The first 2 points were discussed under social changes.
The first 2 points, you mean...
It prevailed self-sufficient economic system and no working class. It was under social system. It was
No,
social
Buddha, no.
changes.
All these are, Buddha, economic condition before arrival of British, right?
Okay, sir.
Still we are in the economy. This page, first page, Buddha, the economic condition existed before arrival of British. So, explain the economic situation and economic changes under British. Before the arrival of British, these were the economic system. But after the arrival of British, these economic changes had been taken care of. Comparison, you have to develop a comparison to that. After completing both, we'll go for question, right? Api ඊට පස්සේ යන question එකකට පුතා. Okay. Economic reforms in Colebrook Commission. So please keep your entire attention, right? To hear Buddha, all ears. Please, everyone be all ears and catch the eye here, right? Catch the eye. Right, economic reforms under Colebrook Commission. So the first main economic change, Buddha, පළවෙනිම economic change එක අපි අනිවාර්යෙන්ම දන්නවා. British make the Sri Lankan economy into a market economy. So the first change is Buddha, change the economy into a market economy. ඔන්න පුතා පළවෙනිම change එක රත්තරන් මොකොත් නැහැ දානවා. So introduction එකට පට්ට point එකක්. This is a wonderful point for the introduction. දාන්න පුළුවන් සුපිරිම point එකක්. Before the arrival of British, we had a self-sufficient economic system, but under British, with the arrival of British, they changed the economic system into a market economy. The following facts are going to discuss further. Supirine pattane gindara. If you want, you can have a note. Order ke liya ganna puluwan putala podi note ekak දාගන්න පුළුවන් නම්, right? මෙන්න මම introduction එක දාගන්න ඕනේ. Introduction දාගන්න පුළුවන්. Before the arrival of British. Before the arrival of British, it existed self-sufficient economic system. Before the arrival of British, it existed self-sufficient economic system, but with the arrival, but under British, it changed into a market economy. Supirima introduction point patta paharak එක ඔන්න දාගන්න, right? So they changed the economy into market economy. If I ask,
Can you please tell again?
yeah, sure. Before the arrival of British, it existed self-sufficient economic system. Self-sufficient economic system, but Under British, economy was changed into a market economy. It was changed into a market economy. Can anyone please repeat for us again? Anyone please? If anyone noted down.
Before the arrival of British, they accessed a self-sufficient economy. After the British came, they changed the economy to market economy.
Thank you very much for that, right? But within that, not yet suitable for the introduction part, right? Suitable for the introduction part. All right. So change to a market economy. Then අපි බලමු කොහොමද මේක market economy එකට change කරන්න කියලා. So this was done, Puta, under Colebrook recommendations. Under Colebrook recommendation. Under Colebrook recommendation, Puta, they impose a law called Policy of Selling Land. මොකක්ද law එක පුතා? Policy of selling land. What is called policy of selling land? Another name for policy of selling land we call puta Barren Land Act. MCQ rattarang. MCQ hari. Barren Land Act. 1840. Anyone is there to explain what does mean by Barren Land Act or policy of selling land, Putala? Policy of selling land means, Puta, Colebrook said that all the uncultivated lands which could not be proven their continual 30 years ownership would be confiscated. All the uncultivated lands which could not be proven their continual 30 years of ownership would be confiscated. Puta tamang satuwatin idam, right? The idam, the lands which belongs to you, but they are uncultivated lands, right? Not cultivated. All the uncultivated lands that cannot prove your identity, that cannot prove it's yours. How to prove it's yours, a land? How to prove a land it's belongs to you, Buddha? One and only method is you need to have a deed. If you don't have a deed, how can you prove that it's belong to me? The problem is in the ancient, during the British time period, Puta, most of the people had no official deeds. Right? Almost all of the people had no deeds. British kuahenang, if you don't have deeds, if you can't prove your continual 30 years ownership, අඛණ්ඩ අවුරුදු 30ක තමන්ගේ අයිතිය පෙන්වන්න බැරි නම් Colebrook said that according to the policy of selling land, Barren Land Act, those lands would be confiscated. ඉඩම් සේරම රාජසන්තක කරනු ඇත. The word confiscate කියන taken by the government. Taken by the government. Taken by the government. La 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 na 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 la 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 na 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 na.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Buddha, come on, ask.
Sir, can you explain the Barren Land Act again?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for asking, right? Thank you very much, right? I will do it. Barren Land Act. තවත් නමක්. Another alternative name for Barren Land Act. පුතා policy of selling land. Policy of selling land or Barren Land Act was imposed in 1840. 1840 තමයි මේක impose කරන්න පුතා. What does mean by Barren Land Act? Barren Land Act means පුතා all the uncultivated lands. Right? Which lands? Uncultivated lands. If you can't prove your ownership of your uncultivated lands in the ancient time period, puta, how the lands were belong. Lands puta belong when, right? If you just live, imagine you are living in Anuradhapura, so then you just have a fence and you will say that this land is belong to me. No one has a deed. කාටත් පුතා ඔප්පු තිබුණේ නැහැ නේ කාලේ deed එකක්. අපි කියන ඔප්පුවක්. Right? කාටත් ඔප්පු තිබුණේ නැහැ, deeds තිබ්බේ නැහැ. Documents තිබ්බේ නැහැ පුතා. No one had the document to prove that. If you call Burkina, if you don't have continuous 30-year ownership document, so those lands taken by government. ඒ ඉඩම් ඔක්කොම රජයට ගන්නවා. The problem is at that time, most of the Sri Lankans had no documents to prove their continual ownership. So Colebrook Puta took all those lands to the government. Colebrook idan seyama rajayata aiti karagatta. Right? Colebrook took those all lands to the government. La na 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 la 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 na na na. Hello Putala, can you all hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. Right. So are you clear what is known as Barren Land Act, my Puta?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Is there anyone to explain what's called Barren Land Act?
All the uncultivated land which could be proved that the owner had them for about 30 years, it would be confiscated by the government into their own hands.
Very good, Puta. Thank you, right? Perfect. Perfect. Superb, right? Excellent, right? All right. So then, Puta, because of this, right? Menne me hetu nisa. Because after Barren Land Act or after policy of selling land, my Puta, right? Colebrook, under Colebrook reform, Colebrook did one more effect. Number one, right? I will send the mind map. at the end mind map එක මම අවසානයේ වන්නම් ඔන්න number 1 මෙතන number 2 දාන්න පුතා right පිළිවෙලට යම් මේක මාර වැදගත් වෙනවා නැත්නම් අපිට අපහසුයි understand කරගන්නට right number 2 ගත්තා after Barren Land Act Colebrook said that okay right now I am preparing deeds දැන් මේවට ඔප්පු අදාළේවට ඔප්පු මං හදනවා I am preparing all the documents මම documents හදනවා කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ so the people who would like to invest in those lands you can buy them and you can start developing your cultivation over the partane mole puta right after imposing policy of selling land puta monada Colebrook kiwe Colebrook kina mehema hari now I am preparing official documents right I'm preparing deeds you can buy it from the government rajayen golata opput ekkama ganna puluwan you can buy with the clear documents so if you wish to invest these lands it's a good investment you can buy it and you can develop your cultivation wow superb right patta molaya athara mata kiyanna putala if you could remember just let me know what was the purpose of arrival of Colebrook
So reduce the government
exactly correct right reducing government expenditure and increase in what increase in income Colebrook did the exact way Colebrook took all the lands and started selling them puta so automatically government income skyrocketing right so puta Colebrook asked to invest and buy it so actually both local and foreigners started investing to buy these lands it was Colebrook in a hurry right the third option Colebrook the third recommendation put of Colebrook you're right okay the number of civil servants are very high in the Sri Lankan country Colebrook mehema right Colebrook reduce the number of civil servants Colebrook reduce number of civil servants and allow civil servants to engage in estate cultivation. Hattarang Colebrook reduce the number of civil servants and allow civil servants to engage in estate cultivation. Sundaraya. Sunduru mataka pitu Gana mataka ne Ape pin sangarave Anduru elad Akuru petalila teru matnene reduce number of civil servants and allow civil servants to engage in estate cultivation. Engage estate cultivation. Na, 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 na. Reduce the number of civil servants and allow civil servants to engage in estate cultivation. Make him mukada venni kenda ban puta. Make him venni puta. So it reduces the government expenditure. Government expenditure puta adu venuwa. No need to pay the salary for the civil servants. Who are known as civil servants? Government officers. So reduce the government expenditure. Evagema, the civil servants means the government officers are well-educated people at that time. So then puta, Colebrook asks, you all can go to estate cultivation, tea, coconut, rubber, cocoa, right, coffee. You all can go to estate cultivation. You can manage that. You can manage that. Colebrook asked to manage. Colebrook used their intelligence, puta. Government officers were asked to go to estate cultivation and manage and engage in management. Wow. Superb method, පට්ට මොලයක් Colebrook එක පුතා. මුලින්ම at the first පුතා Colebrook started taking lands to the government. After that, he started selling those lands. Then after reduce the number of government officers and use their knowledge to develop estate plantation in the country පුතා. මේවා මොළ නෙමෙයි පුතා මොළ ගෙනපු නැව්. Then after the fourth statement, the fourth recommendation of Colebrook පුතා Colebrook ගේ හතරවෙනි එක Colebrook ඊට පස්සේ කියනවා right. Colebrook කියනවා හරි. Now Colebrook පුතා abolish compulsory service system. Colebrook abolished compulsory service system. Colebrook said, no need to work for free. Come to our estate lands, we will pay you. ඔයගොල්ලෝ නොමිලේ වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. එපා. Don't work free. Come to our estate lands. එන්න අපේ ඉඩම් වලට work in our estate cultivation. We will pay you. That this is the first time in the country ever it started working class. ලංකාවේ වැඩ කරන ජනතාව working class for a salary. පඩියකට වැඩ කරන ජනතාවක් ලංකාවේ බිහි වුණේ මෙතනින්. Isn't this economic change? මේ economic changes නෙමෙයිද? ලියන්න පුළුවන් පුතා මේක පැලෙන්න. You can write this to perplex the observer. I think introduction එක දෙම පහර විදිහට points එක ලස්සනට curve එක explain කරන්න තියෙන පුතා. Right? Policy because of what happened because of the policy of selling land. Then he started selling those lands. Then reduce civil servants, use their knowledge to develop estate plantation. Then puta estate now they need the labor. Need the labor to work in the estate cultivation. So then Colebrook said, abolish compulsory service system. Abolish, cancel. Colebrook asked, you all come to our estate cultivation. End අපේ වතුවලට එන්න. වැඩ කරන්න, you will be paid. ගෙවන්නම් අපි පඩියක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. පට්ට knowledgeable, right?
Excuse me, sir. I have
Yeah,
a
come on.
question, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, didn't the British lose money by giving a salary to the workers?
Very good, Puta. Good question. Puta, they are giving a salary to the workers, but how? After cultivating, right? Just imagine they give a salary to for what? Ask them to work in estate cultivations. What are estate cultivation, Puta? Tea, coconut, rubber, coffee. Puta, they paid a small salary and British developed tea cultivation, coconut cultivation, rubber cultivation, coffee cultivation, and they started exporting them to the European market. They brought dollars, Puta, and paid very small salary to our people. Win-win situation, but British won double. Am I correct? They just paid, Puta, British paid a small salary, minor salary. But British developed tea cultivation, coconut cultivation, rubber cultivation, coffee cultivation. They exported those products, Puta, harvest to European market and got dollars. And from those dollars, they paid minor rupees to the workers. Pow. Am I clear? Am I clear, Putala?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I think the rest of the parts we will be going to discuss after getting the break. Shall we go for the break right now?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Because I think you are tired, right, for a long lecture. Okay. I took a screenshot of this. The time is 9:07 p.m. can get the break until 9:22 p.m. Come on, take your break, Putal. Sir, didn't the workers get to know about the export? They know, Puta, but they can't do it, right? They don't know the process. Hello, Mutala. Can you all hear me? Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So we were discussing about economic reforms in Colebrook, Puta, right? So under Colebrook economic reforms, Colebrook changed the economy of the country into a market economy. That's their first thing. They changed the economy into a market economy, Puta. So to change the economy into a market economy, it affected Puta policies of Colebrook. We call Colebrook recommendations, Colebrook reforms. The first reform of Colebrook is called policy of selling land. Policy of selling land, Puta, another name for policy of selling land, we call Barren Land Act. Barren Land Act of 1840. What does mean by policy of selling land or Barren Land Act? It means, Puta, it does mean all the uncultivated lands which could not be proven your continual 30 years of ownership would be confiscated or taken by the government. So then Colebrook started selling those lands, Puta. So investors started buying lands through Colebrook government. This third one, reduce the number of civil servants and allow civil servants, government officers to engage in estate cultivations, Puta. After that, Colebrook wanted labor to cultivate in estate lands. So Colebrook Puta abolished compulsory service system and asked common people to come to estate cultivations and work in the estate cultivation. We will pay you. So we stop from here. It's fifth reform of the Colebrook Puta. Colebrook පස්වෙනි reform එක වන්නේ නම් රත්තරන්. දුක හිතුනා රත්තරනේ. The fifth reform of Colebrook Puta. Colebrook කියලා මෙන්න මෙහෙම break the monopoly of cinnamon and salt. Before the arrival of Colebrook Puta, only king can do cinnamon and salt trade. Others can't engage in cinnamon and salt trade, Puta. Cinnamon and salt trade can be done by the king's palace only. Others cannot engage. But Colebrook said that it's not good. Colebrook, Puta, break the monopoly. What does mean by the word monopoly, Puta? One and only ownership. Tani aithiya. ඔබ මගේ මාඔබේ කියන්නේනේ. When someone has a love affair, so he used to say to the girlfriend or the boyfriend, ඔයා මගේම විතරයි. Monopoly. I have the monopoly on you. ඔයා මගේ විතරයි තනි අයිතිය. Monopoly means Puta, one and only ownership. One and only ownership we call monopoly. One and only ownership, monopoly. One and only ownership, monopoly. Ayo, one and only ownership, monopoly. One and only ownership called monopoly. One and only ownership called monopoly. One and only ownership called monopoly. Before the arrival of Colebrook Puta, only the king, the government can do cinnamon and salt trade, Puta. Only the king and the government can do cinnamon and salt trade, Magaratra. Sudu gaume ay madge une then hitin Kederin bani la 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 la. But Colebrook broke the monopoly of cinnamon and salt trade, and Colebrook asked others, allow others to do cinnamon and salt trade. Anit telling, no, you all can come and do cinnamon and salt trade. Hey, once you got the income, you have to pay some to the government as tax. But the Raja, the Colebrook is not doing the trade solely. The common people investors invest doing cinnamon and salt trade. So they invest their money, they got a profit taken as a tax they pay to the government. So government a lot of money without spending a single money. Government earn a lot of profit Putas without spending single rupee. That's the brain capacity of Colebrook Puta Patta character. Broke the monopoly of cinnamon and salt trade. Ask the others to do. You can do the cinnamon and salt trade. You can get profit. Have a profit. Taking tax up at the end. Automatically puta, the income of the government increases. Ayya magi adanang hondai punchihini goni billo nangi allan in bani. The sixth one, Buddha, the sixth Colebrook reform is sixth one. Right. The sixth one, Buddha, we called establishing a saving bank. You can see, Buddha, how the economy of the country had changed. Honorate economic change, Buddha. Establishing a saving bank. Establishing a saving bank, Magaratra. Right? Establishing a saving bank. For the first time in the country. Buddha, before the arrival of Colebrook, no any bank in the country, right? Right now, Colebrook established a saving bank to give loans, right? So they earn through the interest. And Buddha, you can see there were a lot of economic changes happened under British, right? Policy of selling land, reduced number of civil servants, abolished compulsory service system, developed estate plantation, broke the monopoly of cinnamon and salt, establishment of a saving bank. Wow. The last and the final thing, very, very important, the patta nota meti, right? Last and the final thing was known as seventh one is called tax collection. Tax collection, tax collection, tax collection, tax collection, tax collection, tax collection, tax. La 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 la. Under tax collection, Puta, Colebrook wanted to collect cash tax. Before the arrival of Kolputa in Sri Lanka, it existed direct tax. What is known as Puta direct tax? Monada me direct tax kiyan. What is known as direct tax Puta? Direct tax. Direct tax means Puta, if you are a fisherman, if you caught 6 fishes, right? Then what happened? You have to give 3 fishes as taxes. If you are let's take, if you are doing pottery industry, so you have to give your pottery objects to the government as tax. That's we call Puta. That's we call direct tax. It's we call direct tax, right? It's we call direct tax. Direct tax. What does mean by direct tax? Directly what you are earning, paying to the government. But Colebrook said, no, 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 no. We don't want direct tax. We want cash tax. If you are a fisherman, go to the sea, caught fishes, go to the market, sell them, collect money, and from that, just pay taxes. So the overall, we can see a lot of economic change happen under British. So this is all. This is Puta all. How about this? Are you all okay about this, Putala? 5 and
Yes, sir.
6. Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Under 5th point, Puta, break the monopoly means Magaratharan. Colebrook said that everyone can engage in the cinnamon and salt trade. So then you all can engage in cinnamon and salt trade. You can do the trade. You can earn money, profit, but you have to pay a tax from them, then earn money. 6th one, they started a saving bank to give loans to the businessmen, entrepreneurs. Puta. Are you all clear, Magarattaram Putala? Clear. So let me take a screenshot of this. La 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 la. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Right, Puta. Took a screenshot. Let's go for the completion of Tude. Do you have this Tude with you all, Mabudala? Have you got the Tude? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, Puta. Ayya mage kavadat hondai. It was prevailed self-sufficient economic system in the ancient era. So people of the village produce their food in the village itself. Next point, Puta. We're writing agriculture was continued, taking help from each other on daily basis, which was called Attama. La 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 la. The agricultural activities in Portuguese held areas suffered drawback because they paid more attention to trade during their rule. Next point. And also, Dutch started some minor industries and a payment system for the work daily. Anath Marute Kunatu Sagare Divyati Ben Turumagi Nubai Adre Sasar Saran Turamage. Finish Putala. Completed writing.
Wait, sir.
Sir, until which part you are teaching today? So I think we will be able to complete only this part, Puta. Yeah, okay. Api dedena petu petum midennata epa sada venas venna epa manika makere. All right, finished, right? Economic reforms in Colebrook Commission. The major reason for sending the Colebrook Commission to Sri Lanka was the expenditure of the government exceeded the income of the government. Next one. Colebrook recommended that the government should move into a policy of selling land because the existing traditional land tenure system was an obstacle for the private entrepreneurs. Diviyati bena turumage Obai adre Anath Marute Kunatu Sagare.
Sir,
Yeah, Buta.
what is tenure system?
Tenure system is Buta, traditional land owning system. Land owning system. All right, Puta? How the lands were given to each. It's called tenure system. Okay? Finish writing, Putala. Done. Right, okay. Therefore, both local and foreigners had the opportunity to buy lands as much they wanted. The investors who bought lands wanted labor to cultivate those lands. Next point. Therefore, Colebrook thought of abolishing the compulsory service system. සදා වෙනස් වෙන්න එපා මැණික මා කෙරේ ඔබයි ආදරේ. Therefore, Colebrook thought of abolishing the compulsory service system. Are you okay, Putala?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as a result, the labor became something that could be bought and was beginning of labor class that worked for wages in the country. Cinnamon and salt trade was a government monopoly. Therefore, it was suggested to break the monopoly on cinnamon and salt trade and allow private sector to join that trade. The truth is very clear, superb. So Colebrook further recommended the establishment of a saving bank in the island. The purpose of establishing a bank was to allow the entrepreneurs who invest money on estate cultivation obtain money to a reasonable interest. So that's about the economic changes under Colebrook. Next, we have actually development of plantation. All right, Putta. So I think development of plantation we can start on next day. So how about the economic changes under British? Are you clear, Putta?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So these parts are the essential parts of your oral examination. And keep remember, as I told you last week, so we are starting our paper class, right? O-level paper class from the last week of June. Next month, last week, we will be starting our paper class. So the class will be starting, we will be continuing the class until 11 p.m. Putta. Right, class continue the paper class, right? So keep your time free. So then in the paper class we'll be doing our map marking, and then so each day we will be doing MCQs and structured questions as well as the picture descriptions also we will be doing in the paper class, right? And may I have from your responses, please? Did we do grade 10 paper picture book, Putta? I think yes. Anyone, please? Have we completed grade 10 picture book?
No, sir.
No. Okay.
No, sir.
Right. Did I send you the grade 10 and 11 picture books?
No, sir.
Okay. All
No,
right.
sir.
All right. So all clear, sir. Thank you for your precious time. Thank you, Buddha. All right. So next month, right? Next month, I will send you picture books, both grade 10 and grade 11. So we will be doing picture books, right? In the paper class. So we have to then complete grade 10 and grade 11, both picture books and the map marking parts. And the MCQs and written questions will be discussed under paper class, Buddha, right? Okay, so that's all about today. Are you clear? Any problems related to this lesson?
No, sir.
Clear, right? Okay, Mudha. Then let's meet next week, right? Thank you very much. See you all. Good night. God bless you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye, Mudha. Bye.